Dear hairdressers, dental assistants, grocery store clerks, and anyone else who answers, you must be a saint when they find out I teach middle school. This exchange, it never changes, never rearranges. You must be an angel. The stages, the hormone rages. You're courageous, the conformity, contagious. I hated middle school. But I hate this conversation that I have with random strangers at least once a day. How could I even begin to tell them about you? How could I ever express your confidence and self-assurance of some of you? The sun shines from your every pore. The building I teach in is old and without windows, but we don't need them when you walk into my classroom. You radiate, you duplicate, you jubilate, you illuminate. And I see you in the back of the room, hoping to blend in with my classroom walls, but you, dear student, could never go unseen. Your heart, your story, your mind, I take you home with me at night. It's true, I don't know your plight. I don't know what it feels like to come home to empty cupboards and empty pockets and hungry siblings. But I see you. You are the saint, dear student, not me. You are the martyr, the matriarch at 12, and I am still a child. I am the one learning from you. We come to this job every day to learn from you because teachers love to learn. And we never stop, never stop, never stop. Yes, I will still insist that you do that assignment. And it's not because I mean, although I can be. And it's not because I want to punish, although admittedly it crossed my mind. But it's because I love you. And love doesn't quit, it perseveres. And yes, middle school is fun. There are bad haircuts and bad outfits and bad choices and the body odor. We see our realness, our humanity in you. Adults are afraid of middle schoolers because deep down inside, we all never left. You are a constant reminder of the authenticity that we try to suffocate every day. And then there are those moments. And every middle school teacher since the beginning of time knows what I'm talking about. Those moments when the seas of conformity part, the cliques dissipate, and you get to witness the most pure and holy acts of kindness and inclusivity you will ever, ever see in your life. And I promise you that you don't get those when you're cleaning someone's teeth, or trimming their bangs, or bagging their groceries, or answering yet another email. These visceral moments, and still I am learning. My paychecks aren't much, it's true, but it's your sterile work environment that I eschew because I work with beauty in ways that no makeup artist could ever understand. I am not the saint. I am the sinner, trying desperately to change my ways to have half the confidence and integrity that those 12-year-olds have, to catch their courageous authenticity in a field of rye before they jump off the cliff and into your world.
Why can't you be like your siblings?
I'm not good enough.
Is this really my grade?
I need to be perfect.
I'm so dumb.
I got all those questions right. Why couldn't I get this one?
My parents are going to be so mad.
I did so bad.
All my friends get an A. Why didn't I?
I expected more from you.
I'm so stupid.
The question was so easy. Why didn't I get it wrong? This is my life. All the expectations running through my head.
Everybody tells me what I should be. What else do they want from me?
All my friends are better than me. When they got an A, I got a C.
My parents always say to me, why can't you be like your siblings?
But what can I expect when they're all perfect?
I feel like I need to get 100%. I spend so much time when I have to look at my grade. I just have to say I'm fine.
Is it ever enough?
Perfectionism is drawing a perfect straight line by hand. Even after 1,000 tries, it's still not enough.
Is it ever enough? I worked so hard to get in the honor orchestra, got my hopes up, thought I did so good, then the news came in, the other bassist made it in. Didn't. I felt so unaccomplished and sad, my expectations crumbled.
Am I ever enough?
One time I had to work on an essay. I noticed it was due on Friday. I decided to procrastinate, but the essay was turned in late.
Is it ever enough? Being perfect is like an ever-ending race. I think I can win, but I can never see the finish line. Am I ever enough?
My parents expect an A or a 4. I forced myself to get good grades. When I got a 2, my dad sent me to my room. Then he came to my school and talked to my teacher. He assumed there must be a mistake in the grading system.
I always say that I need to get a perfect grade. My friends say that
A 3.2 is okay.
But a 3.2 for me is trying my best, but instead I end up with tears in my eyes, feeling like I'm going to regret this forever.
Am I ever enough?
My family expects so much of me. They say they don't care, and the only thing that matters is that I tried my best, but I know the truth. Whenever I get a grade lower than a 4, they always tell me they expected more. I nod and keep silent, but in my head, I'm wondering why they can't just be happy that I get 4s in everything else. Why can't they see? Sometimes I wonder.
Am I ever enough?
Getting lower than a 3.5 makes me want to cry. Feeling like I want to die, I always wonder.
Am I ever enough? I expect myself to make no mistakes. I need to take a break. I feel like I'm never enough. It makes my life tough. I don't want to make mistakes, but I am human. Humans make mistakes.
School doesn't prepare us for taxes. Instead, we learn about X and Y axis.
School isn't preparing us to keep the IRS off our asses.
They expect us to sit here and be quiet, but inside I want to riot. I feel so angry and I was proud.
I can't keep quiet.
My opinion always has to be a bias.
Middle school is a bland diet.
Drama,
I'll try it.
Anything just to revive it.
I feel like I just can't
Deny
deny
it.
it.
Computers slow down my education. Why should we make donations?
How would the Pythagorean theorem help me buy a house?
Every day we go from class to class. I feel like I'm supposed to learn something. Instead, I feel like shattered glass.
I feel so worried I won't be prepared for the real life because they teach us what the Egyptians did to get to the afterlife.
Why should we know this?
Why should we care?
Why should we care?
Why should we care?
Why should we care?
We learn about fractions, but not about transactions.
We learn from mistakes, but not from the Great Lakes.
We learn about stage left, but not about how to invest. But none of that gets solved. It just gets involved.
There are so many ways to solve issues, but just reissue.
We don't learn how to manage money.
Which is far more important than learning how to mummify a mummy.
There are many ways to resolve it, but why should we know this?
This should have been taught at lower grades.
I feel worried inside, but I've tried. I need a better guide. I wake up every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning feeling sick and tired on my bedside.
The next time I raise my hand, I won't just ask a normal question. I'll ask,
Why am I here?
Think about their stories when they were our age. Kids try to relate, but it feels like our generation has been stuck in a cage. They tell us about all their adventures with friends outside, but with us with our phones, adventures seem to have died. Our eyes and head always stuck inside a screen, missing out on being a teen. Our parents tell us of all the thrills that came from rolling down big hills. Now those hills have become landfills, and we play those games slouched and crouched on a couch like a vacuum sucking us in and never turning off. When we hear their stories of laughter and fun, something aches inside us because memories like that for us are pretty much done. Our screens buzz and light up with what appears to be our fun, but what it really does is inhale our childhood and leave us with none. It takes away the years of us being young. We will never have the experiences of the adults that surround us. The average person spends 4.5 hours a day on their phone, but just 3 hours a day is 10 years of your life.
Phones were made for communication, but they have only led to an invasion that has robbed us of our friends and happiness. Instead of hanging out and talking, we sit on phones and scroll and scroll and scroll. We send videos from across the room, and the only time that we look up is to see if they got it. Instead of going outside and enjoying the place around us, we go and crane our necks over the screen that we can't take our eyes off of, not only has it taken our happiness, but it has made us more angry in return. Our parents tell us to get off, we snap.
Our brothers and sisters ask us to play, and we blow them off to continue our endless cycle. Phones have become drugs to the lazy.
Feeding the addiction to scroll and sit.
It's creating mindless kids.
Instead of running down hills, they run down the rabbit hole of the internet and play on sites that feed them information that their young minds just aren't ready for.
They mindlessly click in the backseat of the car.
They will never understand the race of 2 raindrops on the window or the invisible man doing parkour from sign to sign and post to post.
We've all fallen into the trap.
We become lazy to the point where emotions are too hard to express.
We get sent funny videos and don't even smile.
Our eyes want to shed tears.
But no one wants to feel anything bad.
So we turn to the painkiller that lights up our face late at night and put the lid back on the box.
Because it's easier to drown everything out rather than feel what we need to feel. We become so lazy that we sit and melt into our seats.
But don't you remember when that melting feeling came after jumping on the trampoline for hours?
Now that feeling comes without anything. We just sit and melt on the couch like a stain that won't come out.
Our brains mush as we see the same video for the 5th time that month. We used to play dead man on the trampoline, but now we are the dead man scrolling past the count of 5, because it's easier to scroll than to be alive.
At school, there was another day of skiing or not weather, but when I get home from school, skiing is eating like half a day. Before I can do anything, I have to do my homework, which will eat up another 30 minutes. I know there is a better way to education, instead of sitting kids down and teaching them information that we don't need. I know there's a better way to education. All school teaches us how to not think for ourselves and how to follow instructions step by step. It's always work in factories. Every day I spend at school, I believe there must be a better way to educate students. Instead of sitting them down and instead of just making them sit down and memorize information that we will never use in our lives. I think there is a better way to educate students. I'll teach them how to think for themselves, to be creative. Unfortunately, schools won't teach us how to follow instructions step by step, which is a skill we won't need if we work in factories. We need a new approach to education that will help us become independent thinkers. Every day I realize on phones 100 years ago are almost unrecognizable to today's phones. Cars 100 years ago had very different technology and engines than today's cars. Even houses and clothing 100 years ago are extremely different. But then tell me why schools from 100 years ago look and function very similarly to today's schools. It is odd that they say they're preparing us for the future, but they're really preparing us for the past.
People see me differently because of my ability. A lot of people just see me as silly. You think I'm too funny, but it's not always sunny. That's no one's fault, because they might have something going on at home. People get judged by their clothes, but bullies are just like crows. These clowns walk around with their frowns. People like to talk behind each other's backs, but it's because they have skeletons in their own backpacks. People jump to conclusions, but it's just their own delusions. I'll never live up to their expectations because I use my own equations. I march to the beat of my own drum. Others might judge, but those who don't are my real chums. In my childhood, I was kinda misunderstood. Kids used to make fun of me because I was different. So they would lose interest. Kids used to cause a crime over the fact that I couldn't climb. These words felt sort like a
sour like a lime, but I turn their hurt into brine. Now I've made a lot of friends. These helped give me a new lens. Even me, I've gotten better. Life is really cool. It feels like a warm summer. Something that may help when you feel misunderstood is talking to someone that can help you feel good, like a friend, adult, or therapist. These people can be sorta like a sentiment. They use their clay to mold your brain. Emotions can feel like a freight train. So those people help lessen strength.
L. L is Lydia being told over and over again she just hasn't met her anyone. L is Lauren, who was shunned by her friend group, which consisted of girls. L is Lila, who has been living with her wife and hasn't contacted her family for about 5 years. G. G is Gabriel, sitting in a cold alleyway covered in snow after coming out on Christmas Day. G is Gavin, murdered in the boys' bathroom by 3 teenage boys. G is Griffin, being arrested while protesting a ban on same-sex marriage. B. B is Bennett, who was blatantly ignored when he corrected people who referred to him as gay. B is Bianca, while she was constantly questioned about her sexual orientation because she was with a man. B is Bailey, who was told that it was a phase and that she would find her true sexuality soon. T. T is Tiffany, wanting to cut her hair and flatten her chest. T is Trevor, wanting to grow his hair out and wear a dress. T is Troy, who doesn't think that they should have to be one or the other. Q. Q is Quinn, who doesn't like to have to be labeled, so they are queer, and so is Quill. Plus. Plus is everyone else who fits in this spectrum, whether it's people who don't feel one way towards someone, or people who don't feel that way at all, or people who change from one to the other, or people who don't fit into that standard. Plus is everyone beyond the first few. Plus means we. We are loud and proud, or we are quiet and closeted. We feel for certain people, or we feel that our bodies should change. Plus is we.
Monday, I get to school, and the school bully knocks me over. I walk it off. Tuesday, the school bully makes fun of me and calls me names. I ignore him. Wednesday, he keeps slapping me on the back of the head. I have a bruise. Thursday, he shoves me in a locker, and the teacher lets me off. I have a cramp in my back. Friday, he drops me and gives me a black eye. It's about fine. I am how I am, and I don't care what people say.
I'm bullied because I'm different. I'm different because you don't understand me.
Monday came, the bully pushed me down. I got up, brushed it off with a frown. Tuesday's words, they stung like bees, but I walked on with a calm and ease. Wednesday's slap, it left a mark, yet I stood tall within the dark. Locked in Thursday, but freed by a hand, though my back ached, I took a stand. Friday's hit, a black eye to bear, but I'm still here, I won't despair.
I'm bullied because I'm different. I'm different because you don't understand me. People also assume that I have ADHD, but what I think it is that they should just let it be. Some people like it to think I'm sick, but people who say that are built like a brick. And when you say you want to fight, I take flight.
I am who I am. You don't have to love me. You keep trying to bring me down to your level, but I know I'm special. You try to make me normal, but you don't realize that is you who's abnormal. You'd rather punch me in the face than bring me into an embrace. I can be weird, but that's just who I am. I'm told I'm stupid, dumb, weird, or disgusting, but I'm not going to change who I am just because you make fun of me and push me around. I'm autistic, so people treat me differently and assume I'm dumb or weird or not capable of doing things myself. I am who I am. You don't have to love me, but I do.
Him food, because if we don't have any food in our stomach, we can't learn, but we have to wait till we get home to eat good food.
Buses are lit when it's cold, and some kids are riding their bikes in the cold, and some are getting sick.
Classes are way too long and boring when they can't even teach something important or fun. I will always get bored falling asleep in class, dreaming about the things I could have been doing instead. Decisions are bad, like starting school at 7:20, and make some decent food for once. Education is boring because I get bored and everyone else gets bored. When we never do anything fun and all the teachers should do some fun stuff.
The stuff they think is fun is not really that fun. The only time we can have fun is when we get to play games when we feel home.
Grading is annoying because what is the actual point? To see that we were actually learning stuff that most of us are not going to use.
Homework. The fact that they want us to be working at home when we work at least 7 hours a day. The only time we get to have a break is on the weekend because parents want us to be doing their homework and we can't get some sleep on the weekend.
Kids can't walk in the hallway and they're always really slow. Some kids walk the hallway and they look at you. When you walk in between them, they look at you. Lunch is always so bad. The chicken is pink half the time and the noodles taste like straight rubber. And the milk is chunky and the food's a little bit squishy.
Overcrowded hallways. Many kids in school are trying to have fun but can't with the students.
Neighborhood classrooms, there has to be loud all the time.
Overcrowded hallways are really annoying because some kids just stand there in the hallway blocking.
Pens, because the teachers never have any real break.
Quality time with family and friends is barely happening because of school is taking half the day.
Recognition that a student doesn't want to be talked to by some teacher.
He's right?
Yeah.
What's that like? You start a pretty.
It's just like, I don't know, you start getting sweaty, but my hands are kind of sweaty anyways, so.
Not you.
My hands were just sweaty, basically.
What? How'd you feel about reading your poem in front of people?
What?
How was it to read your poem in front of people?
Good. So there's a bunch of short kids out in the audience. So.
It was pretty fun.
You got the 0.5 of you, bro.
It was alright.